of the highlights of the Silverstone Classic 2010 was the inaugural celebrity race in aid of the Bobby Moore Fund for Cancer Research, for which you guys, Rick Parfitt, were the winner of the race, and Neil Primrose, you followed him home in second place. A lot of fun was had, I take, Rick.
Yeah, we had a wicked weekend. The Abarth 500s were awesome, you know, considering most of us hadn't actually driven a race car ever before. And we were sort of put through our paces and all got our race licenses, and then stupidly they let us loose on a race circuit. I mean, it's absolute lunacy. But it went off without a hitch, and we actually turned it into quite a good race, I think, between us.
It was very competitive. I was very enjoyable. It's probably my most memorable experience of last year, and amongst some bad ones, but that was an absolute hoot.
You led the race at the start, didn't you?
Yeah.
And then you let him get past you.
Yeah, I overcooked it too early.
I remember looking in my mirror and saw him coming, and I thought, if I turn in, we're both going off, because there was a steely determination in his eyes, and there was no way he was braking for the corner. So I had to concede that one. But we came together. It was good. A few laps later.
Yeah, it was excellent. At least we're on the same team today, so hopefully the karting can be good.
You said you came together. I think the line, if I remember it right, Neil, was that Rick pushed me off. Is that not what you said?
Probably, yeah.
Still stand by that?
Probably.
Racing incident.
Yeah, it was just an incident.
Just tell us a bit more about the event. You mentioned that you were in the Fiat Abarth cars. Who else were you competing against? And tell us a bit about the build-up and the preparation for the event.
It was a real privilege to meet Heston Blumenthal. Ironically, I ended up with his race licence after the event, and he had mine, so a week of sort of posting and making phone calls was sort of getting all that sorted out. But he was a lovely chap, really cool guy, and yeah, a real pleasure to talk about food and cars, because he's mad on cars as well. So
it was quite nice, actually, because James Martin was there, and obviously James is massive into his cars, and I think initially pre-race he was feeling quite confident about his ability, and I think he qualified 5th, and there was sort of a thundercloud following around for the rest of the day.
It's true.
Yeah, the smile on his face wasn't so big by the end of the race, was it? But a lot of total, I mean, you guys have both got a little bit of driving experience, but some of the people you were up against were total novices, weren't they? I mean, there are quite a few DJs. Johnny Walker was the one who made me laugh. I think he was too busy trying to retune the radio at the start and, you know, missed it.
I think it became obvious very quickly. You know, there are people who are wanting to be competitive and do well at something, and that's admirable. And there's also the guys that were there who wanted to have a good time and take part, and that's really what the essence of the event was about. And we all did both things admirably, and it raised the profile of the Bobby Moore thing. Which
was an important part of it as well, wasn't it?
What it's about. You know, we had a blast, but
yeah,
some money was raised, and I think there was some auction stuff as well, and that's what it's all about.
You know, I think everyone, as soon as the whole concept of putting a whole bunch of well-known, and in my case obviously fairly unknown, people together into a race car and then letting them loose was, you know, I think everyone had insurance on the first gravel trap taking most of us out, but you know, it ran amazingly well, so which is down to obviously Silverstone training us all properly, and of course Neil's done a little bit of racing. I've raced karts for a long time, and but a lot of people hadn't, and but Paul, who came 3rd, he was seriously impressive, and he's never driven competitively at all. And he was
I think
a
he's
proper
told us a few
natural talent.
porkies, though. I think he has.
Really?
He's been hiding it.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So you're going to be back again competing in this year's event, that right?
I'm up for it.
Yeah, I think there'll be a few pre-race. It'll be like one of those big boxing bouts. I think me and Neil will be slagging each other off.
If we can get some slicks on, that would be excellent. Yeah.
For you, I know because you said this to me in the past. Last year was definitely one of the highlights. It was one of your best weekends ever, wasn't it? Because not only did you get to win a race at Silverstone Circuit, but you were also...
I got to play with Jedward, yeah.
You got paid?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was... I have to be honest, and if anyone is listening to this, Silverstone Classic, honestly, is just the most amazing event. If you're into cars in any way, shape or form, it is just unbelievable. You know, it's car pornography, you know, and... some of the things that, I mean, I've obviously followed motorsport for years, and so I was just clambering onto the pit lane, just listening to the Lola T70s come roaring past. And then obviously we raced, and then on Sunday we had a great concert with all the X Factorites, and then my little band got up and did their thing, and it was brilliant. I think there were about 20,000 people, and it was an amazing night. And so, yeah, in all, an incredible weekend.
I know you are a huge car enthusiast as well. Presumably you made the most of the opportunity to have a look around and check out some of the other cars and drivers as well who were there, because it's not just classic cars, there's some very well-known drivers taking part too.
I confess that I didn't, because I had to go on holiday with the family. So after the race I went home and then got about 2 hours kip, drove up to Scotland.
No diving into swimming pools this time?
No, not this time. Yum.
Jaguar are celebrating the 50th anniversary of the E-Type at the Silverstone Classic this year, and they're also going to be the Group C cars are making their return there. They weren't there last year. There is a huge range of beautiful vehicles, not only on display but out racing on the track at Silverstone Classic, aren't there?
Yeah, from 1920s right through to, you know, late 80s. As that stuff down there is, it's fantastic. And it's interesting looking at those cars. What's out today is, you know, amazingly quick, but it's not quite as pretty. There's something about those cars that's quite special.
I think with all the restrictions that everyone places on motorsport these days, you know, some of the petrol head essence has been lost on the immaculateness of all the modern race cars. And, you know, and you look at that silk-cut Jaguar and you just think, oh my God, you know, I can't wait to see that on the circuit. I mean, the historic Group C championship is just amazing. You know, I just remember reading all the Autosports when I was a kid and seeing all of these cars. So it's amazing to get as close as you can now to them, and that's why it's a bit special for me. Anyway,
it will be. I mean, the ultimate would be to see them do an hour or two at Le Mans. I mean, I know they do a support race now and again, but that would be the ultimate.
I think you should get yourself into something, Neil.
That would be good, yeah, but rather expensive.
I'll come do your pit board.
Well, in the meantime, you're going to have to make do with a bit of karting, because you guys are representing Silverstone Classic in the kart race here at Autosport this afternoon, aren't you?
Yeah, it's going to be good.
How's that going to go? You were in the event last year, weren't you, Neil?
It was good. The only thing is, if you hit the barriers, you tend to sort of, you know, slide off into some more bit of tarmac that's not actually mapped out. So you sort of drive around trying to get back onto the circuit. If it's a good, clean race, it should be fun.
I'm just looking forward to putting lots of junior 9-year-old karters into the wall.
It'll be nice to see you racing with each other this time, as opposed to punting each other off the track as you were last year.
It's a team effort, and I want us to do well. It's an hour-and-a-half race, so there's no reason why a bit of strategy and, you know, some planning can go well.
And I mean, let's be honest, you know, we will have the best race suits there as well, the most bling race suits. So, you know,
I've still not washed mine from July. I'm joking.
Best of luck to you both, and look forward to seeing you back at the Silverstone Classic later in the year.
Cheers.